In today's video, we're going to be talking about the spot price of silver looking like it's about to fall into the $21 an ounce range. We also have to talk about the debt ceiling December 15th deadline. What could happen if we successfully raise the debt ceiling, and what could happen if we fail to raise the debt ceiling? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about silver. More specifically, the spot price of silver about to fall into the $21 an ounce range, premiums excluded, of course. But we also have to talk about the debt ceiling. What will happen if we raise the ceiling? What will happen if we fail to raise the debt ceiling? What will the consequences be? And what are the answers going to be by December 15th? Because that's the deadline, less than 6 days away. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos, subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. Got the limited edition DYDSS Christmas line helping raise a little bit of funds and awareness for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Link in the description. And of course, make sure to go and get your 2 free stocks by downloading Webull. The link will be in the description. If you refer 3 friends before the end of the month, they're going to give you a spin on the Webull wheel where you can get 1 free share of Apple guaranteed, with the possibility of winning 2, 3, 5, 7, even 10 shares of Apple for free. Webull link in the description. So today is Thursday, December 9th, 2021. The spot price of silver, as I'm filming the video, is $22.02. Big red day for silver, down 1.74% or down 39 cents. Looking like it's about to fall into the $21 an ounce range, and that'd be a beautiful sight to see. The spot price of gold is $17.80.50. A mild red day for gold, down 0.16% or down $2.90. And of course, the gold to silver ratio is in the 79 to 80 to 1 range, so we'll just call that about 80 to 1. But of course, that's as I'm filming the video, not as I'm editing, posting, or as you're watching. So head on down to the comments and let me know the date and time you're viewing the video and what the current spot price is for you. I'm always curious. Okay, so today we're going to be talking quite a bit about silver and gold. But before we can get into the money, I think we first need to talk about currency. For those of you that are unaware, the deadline for the debt ceiling is December 15th. Only 6 days away at this point. And no, this isn't an artificial deadline, whatever that means. Like Pelosi said back in September, the can did in fact get kicked down the road, but this time it really can't be postponed. So I wanted to talk about what could happen if we raise the debt ceiling, and also what could happen if we don't. I thought this was worth mentioning because it can get pretty chaotic whether we successfully raise the debt ceiling or if we fail to do so. And as we get closer and closer to December 15th, less than a week away, it looks like the markets are getting more and more nervous. And I think we all know at this point what fear, uncertainty, and doubt cause a lot of red. I mean, the S&P 500 is down 0.22%, the Dow Jones is down 0.19%, the NASDAQ is down 0.42%. A mild red day, but a red day nonetheless. Not only that, but this is also in part to fears surrounding the new Omicron variant, which, even though apparently causes far weaker symptoms, but apparently spreads much quicker. This is causing the market to think another lockdown might be possible or in the near future. It's also in part to the fear of a government shutdown, which has now been pushed to February 2022, so that's not really anything to be overly concerned about right now. But the list goes on. Point being is that there is a lot of economic uncertainty right now, but the biggest factor on the table right now is whether or not the debt ceiling will be raised. So let's start with what could happen if the government successfully raises the debt ceiling. This is the main push because we have payments to make, and without the raise, we won't be able to make those payments. But it would also inevitably pave the way for even more unnecessary spending in the future. Keep in mind, the reason we are in the position to have to raise the debt ceiling in the first place is because of how much unnecessary spending we've done in the past. Wasting money is how we got here, and now we don't have enough money left over to pay our actual bills. Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? Sounds like half of the households here in America. I don't think it's a coincidence that a nation with a spending problem is being led by a government with a spending problem. Monkey see, monkey do. But anyway, if we raise the debt ceiling, we would clearly be racking up even more debt. Now, it's important to understand that old debt is less significant than new debt. That's been one of the big selling points. We've even heard 46 say it. And they make it look like everything is fine because the old debt isn't weighing us down nearly as much as it used to. Okay, sure. But what about all the new debt that we're about to pile up? That will absolutely weigh us down. Maybe not just yet, maybe not right off the bat, but we are 100% going to see and feel the ramifications a little bit later down the road. Not to mention, if we raise the debt ceiling now, next time they'll be saying, we raised it before and it's fine, let's do it again. Which, by the way, is exactly what they're saying right now because they've raised the debt ceiling in the past. And guess what? They said that last time as well. And the time before that. So in conclusion, if we raise the debt ceiling, we'll be able to pay the bills that we need to pay, with borrowed money, of course, but we'd also be loading up on a whole bunch of more debt. Doesn't sound too good. But you want to know what else doesn't sound too good? Failing to raise the debt ceiling. So let's talk about that. So this potential outcome has more upfront consequences, such as having to put Social Security and military benefits on pause, which would be horrible. But in addition to that, as I've said in, I think about maybe 2 of my previous videos, it could also, in theory, threaten the state of the US dollar. And no, I don't mean losing purchasing power or devaluing over time because of inflation, although that would be included like a package deal.
Hello.
I'm talking about threatening the US dollar's world reserve currency status. You see, we've never defaulted before, and if we fail to raise the debt ceiling, we would have no choice but to default, and this would be for the first time in history. And if that were to happen, the overall perception of the dollar would fall. We have the world reserve currency, and if we were to default and essentially go bankrupt as a country, other nations would lose faith in the US dollar. Because keep in mind, right now, most other countries trust our currency more than their own. But what were to happen if that trust were to start fading? Could we lose world reserve currency status? We absolutely could. I don't know if we will, but I know that we could. Our currency, unfortunately, isn't backed by anything as it is, other than debt and the rest of the world's trust. But if the debt got so bad that we ended up defaulting, and if the rest of the world's trust were to fade away, that could, in theory, be the end of the US dollar as we know it. Not to be a fear-mongerer, that's not what I'm doing over here. That's not why I'm sharing this information. This is just to paint a picture of what's possible. But away from the what-ifs, let's also talk about what we're most likely going to see. Being that Democrats have nearly full control right now, this whole debt ceiling issue is mainly on them to figure out. Republicans, on the other hand, wanted really no part of this for a couple different reasons. One, They didn't want their name to be associated with this entire mess and potentially defaulting and ruining the dollar bill's reputation and credibility. But two, they, in a way, wanted a default to be on Democrats, that is, so that Republicans would have the upper hand and they would get leverage next year in 2022. But at this point, I think we're starting to see a little bit more collaboration than we were seeing a few months back. It's for a couple of different reasons. I think at this point, most people probably know that defaulting for the first time in history, yeah, it would look terrible for Democrats, but it would also feel terrible for absolutely everyone. I don't think that's what anybody wants at this point. But now, with the deadline being less than a week away, the government is scrambling to figure this out. But it looks like we will be raising the debt ceiling to avoid defaulting. Less than 48 hours ago, the House passed a procedural bill to raise the debt ceiling, and as of today, it looks like the Senate will be taking up a quote-unquote debt limit fast-track plan. I know a lot of people were expecting the can to get kicked down the road again, but this time it's just not an option. I even said, I believe back in October, that the new deadline is the actual unextendable deadline. Not an artificial deadline, not an arbitrary deadline, or whatever they referred to it as a couple of months ago, but the real deadline, no excuses. But it wouldn't have surprised me if these politicians figured out a way to weasel their way into January so they can take their much-needed 29th vacation of the year. They've been working hard. They deserve it. In response to all of this, it seems like the market in general is having a little bit of a tough time today. We're seeing red across the board. Silver's in the red, gold is in the red. The entire stock market, for the most part, is just a hair in the red. By the way, speaking of the stock market, just friendly reminder, go and get your 2 free stocks by downloading Webull. Link in the description. If you refer 3 friends before the end of the month, they're going to give you a free share of Apple on the spin wheel, and you might even have the chance of winning 2, 3, 5, 7, or even 10 free shares of Apple, each worth over $150 right now. Webull link in the description. But anyway, though, away from all of the chaos, all of the frustration, all of the financial hardships and economic uncertainty, I think we also should probably talk about something that a majority of us can say that we enjoy talking about: the silver and the gold. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, the spot price of silver as I'm filming is $22.02. It's only a couple of pennies away from falling into the $21 an ounce range, premium excluded. We're talking about spot price, not stack price. By the time I post this video, spot price might have actually fallen into the $21 an ounce range. So again, head on down to the comments and let me know what the spot price is for you as you're viewing the video, along with the date and time you're viewing too, because you might be watching this video a couple of days after the fact. But not only did I want to talk about the spot price of silver being pretty red today, I also wanted to talk about precious metals in general, because everything that I covered in this video so far, whether we're talking about taxes going up or the debt ceiling or a government shutdown or inflation or whatever the case may be, one of my favorite things about silver and gold is that I kind of see it as protection against politicians. That's kind of how I've seen stacking for really the last year. When I first started stacking in the first place, it was mostly, I saw it as like a physical at-home savings account, a hedge against inflation, not to mention a fun hobby, something that I just enjoyed. I like the different coins, rounds, and bars. But in a weird way, you could argue that precious metals, or stacking precious metals, is somewhat of an attempt to combat politicians or the government's poor decision making. And I say this for a couple of different reasons. With everything that we're seeing right now, financial hardships, economic uncertainty, we don't know if this is going to happen, we don't know if that's going to happen, or whether it happens or whether it doesn't happen, we don't know what this consequence is going to be, we don't know what that consequence is going to be, are there going to be ramifications, is this going to happen, is that going to fall apart, is this going to be good, is that going to be bad? There's so much that we don't know, there's so much inconsistency, there's so much frustration. There's so much chaos and noise going on in the world, but there's one thing that gives us a sense of stability. There's one thing that gives us, or at least me, I'm not going to speak for all of us, I'll speak for myself. There's one thing that gives me a sense of hope. Actually, there's a couple of different things, but one of the things that give me a sense of hope are the precious metals. And the reason for that is because I have the physical asset right here in front of me. I can see it with my eyes. I can hold it in my hand. It's real. It's there. It's in my possession. I've acquired it. I've been accumulating more and more and more over the course of just about 4 years now. I've been stacking consistently for this entire time, and when I first started out, it was just one little silver round, and the second time around I picked up 2. The third time around I think I picked up maybe 5, and I had a small pile of silver and absolutely no gold at the time. And then the first time I picked up any gold at all, it was a little 1 gram gold bar. So my way of getting started in this whole precious metal stacking world and participating in this community, my way of getting started was virtually non-existent. I had very little silver and even less gold. And it's been incredibly satisfying over the course of the last 4 years watching the small pile of silver, little by little, and gold, little by little, turn into somewhat of a mountain of silver and gold. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have all of the silver and all of the gold. I'm not going to sit here and say that I have thousands and thousands and thousands of troy ounces of silver or 10, 20, 30 troy ounces of gold. Absolutely not. I'm nowhere near that much wealth. But if you give me another 4 years on top of the 4 years that I just did, I'll probably be a little bit closer. The point being is that it's been somewhat of the compound effect. And I've explained this in previous videos. I have an hour-long video coming out on Sunday, by the way, where I go into quite a bit of detail about the compound effect when it comes to physical, mental, and financial compounding. But when it comes to the compound effect, and what I wanted to talk about today is that it's just simply small steps in the right direction, eventually taking you to where you want to go. When I first got started stacking, I didn't have much silver at all. I had a small handful of silver, and I had one little gold bar. I don't know if I have it on me right now. If I do, it's right here. If I don't, then just ignore me. Here it is. This was my first piece of gold, this little teeny tiny piece of gold. You think those pieces of gold are small? Look at this right here, a little 1 gram gold bar. Almost no gold at all. And the amount of silver that I had at the time, by the time I got that little 1 gram gold bar, I don't remember exactly. I would probably assume that I had 30 ounces of silver or less, somewhere between 20 and 30 maybe. So let's just say 25 ounces of silver and a little 1 gram gold bar. That's virtually nothing at all. That's not even much of a stack. That's just the starting point. That was my starting point. Now other people out there, maybe they got started with a 1 ounce gold coin and a silver kilo bar. Maybe that's how they got started. Or maybe they got started by picking up one little silver dime at a time, 1/14 of a troy ounce at a time. And the next time around they get one more. Next time around they get one more. So maybe they started with more, maybe they started with less than me. None of that matters. It doesn't matter how you started. What you have to ask yourself now is, where are you currently and where will you be in the near future? See, where I was at 4 years ago, doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to where I'm at right now. Everything that you see on screen right here, this is just a small portion. This is just basically some of the coins, rounds, and bars that I like to keep accessible so I can put them down on the table and make videos every day. This is not the majority of my stack. This is just what I have on display. But even what I have on display is like 10 times more than what I had 4 years ago. So it adds up over time, which is why I like to see the spot price of silver moving in a downward direction, because all that means is I'm able to get even more for a better price. You see, the spot price goes down over the course of the last 12 months. I think we've all seeing the premiums go down a little bit. I mean, we were looking at like $7, $8, $9 premiums per troy ounce year and a half, 2 years ago. They've simmered down. Most of this year was $5 or $6 over spot. At this point, I think it's about $4 or $5 over spot. So premiums have come down ever so slightly. And I think that's for a couple of different reasons. I'll save that for another video because I don't want to get too sidetracked here. But the premiums have come down a little bit. Spot price has come down a couple of bucks, which means stack price in general has lowered, which means we can get more money for our currency. We can get more silver for our dollars. We can get a better bang for our buck. Now, some people agree, some people disagree. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not here making videos just to make people agree with me on things. That's not what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is capitalizing on what I consider to be an opportunity. I'm going after the silver, as I've been for the last just about 4 years at this point, and I plan on continuing to do so because I'm still in acquisition mode. I'm not done stacking. I still have a long way to go. I've only been doing this for about 4 years. That's no time at all. That's just the blink of an eye in the grand scheme of things. 4 years? That's not enough time. I'm looking for 14 years. I'm looking for multiple years, decades down the road. I'm just getting started. And there are some people out there who have been stacking for maybe 3 weeks and they picked up some silver when spot price was $23 and now it's $21 and now they're mad. I don't understand that. I've never understood that. Is that not a good thing? If you go to the store and you're looking to buy something for $10 and you find out that it's on sale for $8, would you be angry? If you're looking to get more silver, wouldn't you want it to be cheaper? That's just the way I've seen it for the last couple of years. When I first got started stacking, the entire first year of stacking for me, it was on a very slow decline. I started at $17. Next time around, it was like $16.75. After that, it was $16.50. Then it was $16.25. It made its way into the $15 range, then the $14 range. Then it went all the way down to maybe $13.80 or somewhere around there. And it did nothing but decline my first year, from the tail end of 2017 all the way to the tail end of 2018. Nothing but decline. And every single time I picked up silver for that entire first year, every single time it got cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, for the most part, that is. And guess what? Every single time I was more and more enthusiastic because I knew that each time I was picking up silver, I can get a little bit more for the same amount of currency. Or I can get the same amount for a little bit less currency. I thought that was fantastic. I thought that was potentially the opportunity of a lifetime. And I was incredibly enthusiastic about it back in the summer, fall of 2018 when things really bottomed out for a while. I was making videos every single day all the way back then, saying the same thing I'm saying today. I love the red days. The cheaper it is, the more I can get, the better bang for my buck, the more happy I am because the more silver I can acquire. And guess what? The more silver I acquire, at least in my opinion and from my perspective, I'm not a financial advisor, what do I know? But the more silver I acquire, the better chance I'll have at combating the poor decision making by our politicians. Again, I see the precious metals as a way of protecting myself from politicians. It's like garlic to a vampire, money to a politician. That's just the way I see it. I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. When it comes to the first half of the video, if you can leave me 2 comments. The first comment responding to the first half of the video, the debt ceiling catastrophe that we're looking at right now. Do you think we're going to raise the debt ceiling by December 15th? Do you think we're successfully going to do so? Or do you think we're going to fail to do so? And do you think we're going to end up maybe defaulting on our national debt? Or do you think they're going to somehow figure out a way to kick the can down the road even further? I personally don't think that's even possible at this point, but let me know your thoughts. And then in a secondary comment, if you can respond to everything that I said in the second half of the video, talking about how the silver and the gold are at least what I consider to be protection against politicians. Is that why you're stacking? And what are your thoughts on the spot price moving in a downward direction when it comes to the precious metals? And if anybody's interested in joining the Precious Metals VIP Club, it's where I can do things on my own terms, not on YouTube's terms, my terms. I'm hosting privately held live streams. They're smaller and easier to manage. I'm posting exclusive VIP-only adventure vlogs. I also do giveaways, discounts, personalized promo codes, shoutouts, deal alerts when silver and gold is on sale on a variety of different websites. And of course, you can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. Come join the Precious Metals VIP Club. It'll be the first link in the description. You're invited. I'd be happy to have you. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button. If you guys like me, make sure to subscribe. New videos every single day, 365 days a year. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Bunch of brand new videos over there. Go check them out. The link will be in the description. And if you want to help support the channel in the biggest possible way, please consider getting yourself some DYDSS merchandise. Of course, we have a ton of different designs. We have t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs that are up for grabs. But only until Christmas, we have the limited edition DYDSS Christmas line, helping raise a little bit of funds and awareness for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It's for a good cause. It's helping children with cancer. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. Make sure to also go and get your 2 free stocks by downloading Weeble. The link will be in the description. For every 3 friends you refer before the end of the month, you get a spin on the Weeble wheel, where you are guaranteed at least 1 free share of Apple, with the possibility of winning 2, 3, 5, 7, or even 10 free shares of Apple, each worth well over $150 at this point. And again, for every 3 friends you refer, you get a spin. If you refer 6 friends, you get 2 spins. If you refer 9, you get 3, etc., etc., etc. Don't pass up on an opportunity. Weeble link in the description. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know once again, what are your thoughts on everything shared in today's video? Again, if you can leave me 2 separate comments, separate from one another. The first one responding to the first half of the video, talking about the debt ceiling. What is your stance on that right there? Do you think we're going to raise the debt ceiling? Do you think we're going to fail to do so? Do you think we're going to default on national debt? Do you think we're going to kick the can down the road? What are your thoughts? And then, of course, when it comes to the silver and when it comes to the gold, are you stacking for similar reasons that I'm stacking for? Do you see the precious metals as not entirely, but somewhat protection against politicians and their poor decision making and financial hardships and economic uncertainty? Is that what you're using the silver and the gold for? And of course, what are your thoughts on the spot price of silver falling pretty hard today? Falling down to just above the $21 an ounce range, premium excluded. And again, by the time I post the video, spot price might even be lower. So let me know what the spot price is as you're viewing the video. Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.